So suggestions on this channel are actually pretty important. This video is a suggestion, or stems from a suggestion. Someone wanted me to talk about Mario Hezonja. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I think, when you guys can comment stuff that I can look at and say, you know what, I have something to say about that. I have an opinion. I think we should talk about this thing, this dude, this team, whatever it is. And Mario Hezonja is a very intriguing player because I remember when this guy got drafted. He was drafted a few seasons ago. This is now his third NBA season, so I believe he was the 2015 draft class, and through his first two seasons, he kind of looked like a bust. You know what? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, because this guy was taken with the 5th pick in the 2015 NBA draft. Not only is a top 5 pick meant to be a player that could even be a franchise cornerstone, because if you got a top 5 pick, you're looking for someone that could turn your franchise around. Mario Hezonja was a top 5 pick, and that's not a draft class that's very shabby either. I mean, that draft class had Karl Anthony Towns and Kristaps Porzingis, among other players, just to name a few. Miles Turner and Devin Booker as well. So, this draft class was not short on some real legit talent and guys that would go on to be pivotal players for their franchise. You look at Cat, you look at Porzingis, you look at Devin Booker. They're the franchise cornerstones of their respective teams at the moment, and Mario Hezonja was included in this draft. He was picked 5th overall, and in his first 2 seasons, the reason why I can say I kind of looked like a bust, well, in his first season, he averaged 6 points, and in his second season, he averaged 5 and shot 35% from the field and 30% from 3, and was seeing less playing time. When you're a top 5 pick, and you're seeing 15 minutes per game in your second season, and you're averaging 5 points on 35% shooting, that's a problem. You might be thinking like, well, he just didn't get the minutes. Well, I mean, if you are scoring 1 point every 3 minutes and scoring that 1 point on a 36% clip from the field, or 35, that's bad. That means you're only averaging 12 points per 36 minutes, and you're not being efficient scoring those 12 points. And the thing that made it even worse was that Mario Hezonja, he was kind of supposed to be a scorer. I mean, coming out of Croatia, he's a guy that was coveted as a J.R. Smith type player. Not to say like he's the same skill level or meant to be the same skill level as J.R. Smith, but he was supposedly strong in the areas that J.R. Smith was, and you guys know what J.R. Smith loves to do is shoot the ball. This guy was supposed to be a guy that had great athleticism and great shooting ability, and in his first 2 seasons, he really didn't demonstrate a whole lot of that, and if he did at points in his rookie season, he definitely regressed into his second season in those categories, because he was even worse, saw less playing time, and each day seemed more and more like a draft bust. But then we get to season 3, and the Orlando Magic they're kind of trying to take that number 1 spot for worst franchise in the NBA. I mean the Kings are pretty awful. The Knicks are pretty appalling as a franchise as well. But the Orlando Magic, they've been bad via their front office forever, and it's just been a problem, and it's happened for a while. I mean, you saw it with Shaquille O'Neal, you saw it with Dwight Howard, and even recently, the players that you're giving away, the players that this Orlando Magic team is turning into nothing. They traded Victor Oladipo for nothing. They couldn't, see fit to develop Victor Oladipo into a star, and then the next year he plays with Russ. He's not really given quite the opportunity that he should have as that, secondary ball handler that doesn't really get a lot of chance to shine. Orlando really didn't need to do a lot to get him more touches, to make him more of a leader personality, a guy that could be the guy for the team. I mean, they didn't really help him out enough. They didn't give him the keys to the offense because he was coming off the bench in like his third year. And so they're like, you know what, we're just going to trade you because things aren't working. And look at Victor Oladipo now. He's an all-star less than 2 years later. That's just how it is. And why I bring that up, and of course, the most recent example, if you've been paying attention to Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton, we've seen flashes for a while, but he could never really get down good consistency in Orlando, and after playing there for years and not really, making that much progress, he's traded to the Phoenix Suns, and in his first 3 games, he's averaging over 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, shooting 57% from the field and 50% from 3. What in the I don't understand. I don't get how it's possible. I mean, he had 30 against the Warriors the other night. How is it possible? I know people are going to be like, well, you know what? It's only been 3 games. When was the last time he had a 3-game stretch this good? Tell me when the last time that happened, and tell me why, how it's just a coincidence that the first 3 games he just happens to play insanely well when he's not on the Magic. It's just 3 lucky games. No, you can't make this shit up. This Elfrid Payton is just another example of this Magic franchise screwing things up, and I think they do need to kind of maybe clean house, or at least, move some people out of that front office, because something's not right over there, okay? They're kind of a laughing stock. They are a laughing stock. And the reason I bring the Magic up and why I go on this tangent about the Magic is because Mario Hezonja is a player that I could totally see leaving the team, in a few years, and then just becoming this like sensational player. Because of course he's naturally talented, and we're kind of starting to see him be used a lot more and better. Thank God. The Magic, maybe they're actually learning from their mistakes. They're letting this guy kind of dictate his success and kind of expose his potential. And he's playing really well. I mean, in games that he's played over 30 minutes this year, he's averaging 18 points, 6 rebounds. As a starter this year, he's averaging 16 points and 6 rebounds. In February, in the 7 games of February, he's averaging 17 points, 6 rebounds. And, since they've let him go, since they've let him play a lot of minutes and get a lot of touches and just, see what he's made of when he's playing these big minutes and treating him like he means something to their franchise, it's helping him. And, he's playing very well. And the Magic should not be quick to forget what he's doing, because clearly he's capable. I remember when Elfrid Payton and Victor Oladipo had great games as members of the Magic. It's not like they were always just having mediocre games and the Magic were at fault because they just weren't playing well. The potential and the talent that these guys have is there. We've seen it. It's not just in flashes. They've had these phenomenal games. They've shown you that they can play well. And I really don't know like the specifics of why these things keep happening, where they just think these guys aren't that good and then they trade away another star. I mean, technically it only happened with Oladipo, but like Elfrid Payton sure looks to be headed in that direction. Like he looks like he can be a really solid player in the NBA. At the very least. So credit to the Magic for doing that. But look, to be honest, if you look at what Hezonja is doing, he's playing very well. He's having easily his best stretch of his career. It's not debatable. This is the first time he's really consistently shown that he can be something. And of course, like, I think that if he gets more playing time, if he gets the responsibility of being this guy that really means something to the franchise, they show they put trust in him, because the confidence it's got to keep rising. You gotta keep bringing it up and let this guy show you what he can do. I think that he can definitely be a really good player. The problem is it's the Magic, and if things don't go according to plan and he gets dropped from the team or whatever, he gets signed by somebody else or traded, chances are he's probably going to be better on the other team. It's just what it is. So that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about Mario Hezonja. People might, you guys might be like, well, he's just going to regress and he's just getting lucky and he's just an average player at best. I don't know. I think he's a young player who's, what, 22 years old and doing what he's doing. He can only get better, and his fate is in his control. How he ends up as an NBA player, I think that, you know, you put in the work, some team is going to make sure that you can thrive, and if it's not the Magic, this dude can get, you know, trade to another team or sign another team and really play well and be a good player. So I think he's got it in him. I think that, I don't know about being a star. I don't know if he's going to be like a franchise cornerstone, franchise player or anything like that, but I think that he can be a good player on a good team. Good player, good starter on a good team. That's going to do it. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace. Baby,